The following podcast contains explicit language and content that may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm ready. It's recording.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the Qué Spooky podcast, where two funny dudes share paranormal stuff, true crime, and other scary things from around the world. My name's Andres,
And I'm Kevin.
and we're trying out something new. We're trying out new microphones.
New
So we'll see.
microphones, new camera. We're getting our life together. New
Yeah.
merch store. Check it out.
Bibble's still here, though.
Yeah,
He's kind of cut off right now. You can't see his
he's
head.
cut off.
It says Gaslight, Girl Boss, Gatekeep. The trifecta.
So, I feel so unprepared. There's been so many changes within the last 24 hours.
We've been going through a lot in the last 24 hours.
We initially wanted to do what we usually do every October. We cover some scary stories that we find online. Only because it's fun and it's like something different.
Yeah.
That way, these are like the scariest stories that we found online, and we thought we'd share them. However, now that we are on YouTube, unfortunately, there are legal changes to the content that we can provide.
Yeah, people say we can't talk about it if it's on YouTube unless we pay them.
So there are stories and content creators that do charge for stories, specifically stories that we find on uh, the subreddit r/no sleep, any creepy pastas, a lot of that. There is like a paywall to share it, which I understand. Like, pay your artists.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
We don't get paid to do this. So,
the other day we overdrafted our bank account by $14.
why would you say that? It's true. Kevin had to have the coffee and the sandwich. So he overdrafted us.
Yeah, and it's shared debt, so really, debt of $750 for each of us. Wait, is that right? No,
$7?
$7. Yeah.
Yeah, $7 for
Mm,
each of us.
There you go. Bad at math and beautiful.
All right, before we get too far into it, I wanted to talk about we still have those links on our Instagram. If you go to our Instagram page and you look at our bio, we have an All My Links link that you can click on. We have 4 resources for ICE. The first 2 are informational. First one's in English, second one's in Spanish, and that's more like what to do if ICE ever shows up at your place, like your house, if you're at work, if you're out and about. And then the next 2 are places that you can actually donate to. They're great resources that you can actually give your money to, and they go to helping people get like a lawyer or anything like that that they need if they're detained by ICE. Right under that is still the supporting Palestine links. So we support Palestine. That's not going away. So please, if you feel like you need to donate to a cause, please feel free to donate to any of those.
And there's a lot that's been changing. One thing I did notice is that people in the city, um, they've bought whistles.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's like any ice sightings, people will blow their whistle, just make a lot of noise, start recording, document everything. As for the links that you mentioned about Palestine, as of recording today, supposedly they announced a ceasefire. That doesn't mean that people in Gaza or in Palestine don't still need our help. So,
Yeah. It's not over until the people of Gaza say it's over.
yeah. I mean, the blockade, I'm sure it's going to take a while to get resources to people
Yeah.
that need it. So, that doesn't mean, stop talking about it. That doesn't mean stop donating if you can. But there's like a sense of optimism, I guess.
A little bit. There's just a lot of chaos going on right now, and I feel like I talked to my mom earlier on my way home from work, and she was talking about how she kept seeing on the news how bad it is here with ice, and that like where they're at now, like it's not even half as bad. And we were just kind of talking about it. It just seems like there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that like we should get discouraged or stop doing what we're doing. I think it
Exactly.
is working. I feel like if anything, this should make us like, you
Try
know,
even harder.
dig our heels into the ground and say like we're gonna keep going.
Exactly.
So to anyone out there, I know this is a hard time, but we are thinking about you. The reason, I mean, we kind of mentioned it the beginning of this year, end of last year, where it's like we're gonna keep this podcast going, um,
As long as we can.
as long as we can, but also because we want to provide that break for all the bad stuff. Like we want to be a consistent like variable. Like we will be there posting as much as often we can, twice a month. Hopefully, more if we get cheeky sods out. You know what I mean? Um,
Well, I just yawned. I'm sorry.
that's okay.
It's late at night here.
And it's late at night, but basically, long story short, we're thinking about everyone. Um, and thank you for supporting our little project.
Thank you.
Before we jump into our case, sorry. What I was gonna mention earlier, there have been a few changes. But we had to pivot, and it's a good pivot. But it's just a different pivot.
Yeah. We're also keeping the same format of you guys are watching us in the bed. Come sit down and tell stories with us.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
because our cats won't.
Yeah,
Venus is over there.
they're
Leo's over there.
I have my little ghost blanket right now. It is hot. I will say that it is hot in this room, but I'm still putting this blanket on me because it's for show.
Yeah,
I'm in my pajamas. I'm under my blanket, and this is the show. We're gonna talk about scary stuff.
I'm in a sweater. I wanted to have some tea earlier. I'm gonna make some tea after this, actually.
Yeah.
I will. I'm thinking about soup.
I'm always thinking about soup. I'm always thinking about menudo.
I was thinking about like a butternut squash
I
soup.
don't ever think about a butternut
A
squash soup.
butternut squash soup.
Maybe like a broccoli cheddar.
Yeah, I see that. I
Yeah.
mean, more like fall soup. Fall soup. What's a good fall soup?
Chili. Turkey chili.
Don't talk to me. You know I hate chili.
I know you do, but I don't know why. Oh my gosh.
I've never been a fan of chili. When I was younger, in the east side where we lived, there was a Chicago Public Schools had like the same lunch. You did not choose multiple lunches like they did. Like, they had one lunch and that's it. They had pizza, that's it. But they had sloppy joes, and dude, my sister Carla loved sloppy joes.
Sloppy joes are good.
Isn't that just chili on a
It is
sandwich?
not actually.
I always thought it was just chili. This
No.
is breaking news for
It,
me.
like a sloppy joe sauce is like it's I think it has ketchup in it.
And chili doesn't.
No. Chili does not have ketchup in it.
That's just like semantics. You know what I mean?
Okay, well then is pizza chili cuz it has tomatoes in it?
Moving on.
Is a burger chili cuz it has a tomato in it?
Oh, brother. This is what I'm married to. I
Yeah.
can never win.
You're not going to. I'm sorry. It is the way it is. Other than that, what's been going on? I guess like it's been getting cooler, right?
Yeah.
Like we can finally sleep with the window open. Um, my allergies have been crazy.
Wait, did we talk about the Broadway play?
I don't think we did.
Oh yeah, that had to be the end of September. Okay, so that makes sense. So for the end of September, we went out to the 20-sided tavern that it was like a Dungeons and Dragons show. Don't click away yet. But it was a Dungeons and Dragons show. It was kind of interactive where as you walk in, you're given like a sticker and you're given like this code, this QR code where you log in. And basically the play was interactive. So you chose like some character decisions or even chose like the characters at the beginning, which I thought was very cool. Um, the the actors would like stop what they're seeing and turn to the audience and ask them like, "Hey, what would you like to name this character?" or something. But it was very fun.
It was a lot of fun,
It was at the Broadway in the Water Tower place. I didn't know they had one there.
but they do.
Yeah.
Surprise to
What
us.
else? What else has been happening? I usually have to check my pictures because I forget what I'm doing with my life.
We went to a baptism over the weekend
We did?
at a Catholic church.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm Catholic again.
Every every so often I feel a little Catholic.
Yeah, you feel a little guilt. The little guilt, the guilt rolls in, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to go to church.
Yep.
You're like, wait, I haven't been to church in 10 years. What am I talking about?
Every so often I'm just like I can be Catholic again. Bad Bunny has been announced as the halftime show for the Super Bowl's performer.
And I have been laughing my ass off.
Dude, people are so funny the way they're like, but I can't understand him. I'm like, okay, well, Duolingo's right there.
Yeah.
YouTube, right there.
He rage baited a whole bunch of people saying, like, you have a few months to learn Spanish. And people were so mad about that.
Yep. And
Oh my gosh.
there's been a lot of people that actually have taken on that challenge,
Yeah.
which it's really
Proud
cool.
of them.
You know who else?
Who?
Pink.
Like the singer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you remember Pink?
Yeah. I
She,
remember when everybody thought she was black in the early 2000s.
yeah. She, she said that it was like challenge accepted. She's gonna try to learn Spanish by February, which is really cool. Like Pink, I'm sorry that I said that you make music for women and moms that smoke Marlboro Reds.
I think you said Newports.
Yeah. I forgot what I said.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's really cool. Um, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you want to? I mean, I
Learn a
think at any
language.
time, learn a new language.
You're
That's what
constantly
I do.
learning one
Constantly.
all the time, and then you're talking to me in it,
Yeah.
and I have no idea what's happening.
Sometimes I'm like, "Chuseo."
Cola.
Sure. What else has been happening? Oh, yeah. Pink didn't laugh. She took the challenge head on. That was a screenshot of Pink. Pink accepts Bad Bunny's 4-month challenge. The rock rebel promises to learn Spanish before Super Bowl day.
It's spooky month, and we've definitely been getting spooky. I will say that spooky month is my favorite month
Mm-hmm.
because, and a lot of you guys have been sending me the videos, Spooky Lake Month. There's a TikToker that makes Spooky Lake Month, and she
What's
talks
her name?
about.
Look it up. So her name is Geo Rutherford. Found it.
Okay.
She posts like a every so often will like
31 Days of Haunted Hydrology is what she calls it.
that
Yeah.
where she shares like a haunted lake basically in the world.
Or river or stream or whatever. Just like a haunted or like a creepy body of water. Because
Yeah.
I don't know about other people, but like sometimes just looking at a big body of water makes me uneasy as to like what's under the water.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a cryptid or creepy or anything, but just like when we covered Lake Lanier, like the
Yep.
buildings that were under the water and how people sometimes get stuck on the debris and don't come back up. Like just things like that. Water to me is very scary. I definitely have like a phobia of ocean,
Ooh,
I
open
think.
ocean, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was gonna mention she was actually in the suburbs. She was in Naperville like last year.
I wanted
Um,
to go see her so
at a
bad.
bookstore. She was doing like a speaking
She was
event.
doing a book tour. Her book had just come out, so she was doing
Mm,
a book tour.
yeah. And we're thinking, oh my God, we're just going to roll up
Yep.
and go into the bookstore and, join. But I guess you had to buy a ticket before.
And we did not.
It was like the day of and it was sold
So,
out. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
that was very disappointing. But I think I've been following her on TikTok since 2021.
Yeah. No, you told me
It's
about it after I was like, hey, do you know this lady? And you're like,
hell
the
yeah.
the haunted lake or whatever. And I'm
The
like,
haunted hydrology series.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So, it's been pretty cool. My daughter is here too.
He's gonna drop
Hello,
those
this is my daughter Venus that is always meowing in the background of the videos. So,
Okay, so without further ado, we are gonna jump into our case.
yeah, we're getting into it. It's spooky, it's scary. Let's go. What do you have?
So, like I said, we ran into an issue, so we had to pivot. But it's okay because this is one of the scariest cases that we covered.
Is it?
To me, yes.
Okay, okay.
We'll talk about why. But we did cover it in Spanish, um, but I wanted to, cover it in English. So we're doing
This was a
the
scrambling.
Amityville horror.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I like this
I
one.
really do too. Except the Ryan Reynolds movie. No. No.
Okay,
Get comfy
get comfy. That's
in
what I
this
was gonna
hot
say.
room. I'm
Get
sweating.
comfy.
My legs are sweating.
Get comfy because my sources are a YouTube video by Graveyard Shift, a YouTube video by BuzzFeed Unsolved Network, a New York Post article by Tamara Lappin, a People.com article by Nicole Breeze. And that People.com article, it was actually published today when I was like reviewing all my notes.
Somebody was like,
Somebody
"Hey,
was
you
thinking
know what's
about it.
good? Amityville Horror right now.
Dude, our minds were linked.
Soul linked."
Yeah. So, ready?
Girl, get started. Let's go. I've been ready.
I do want to start by giving a content warning that there are mentions of murder, familicide. Yeah. So, on the 13th of November 1974, 23-year-old Ronnie DeFeo Jr. ran from his home at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York, to Henry's Bar, a local bar, around 6 p.m. He was out of breath and very frantic. As he stormed into the bar, he exclaimed, "You gotta help me. I think my mother and father are shot." What followed was one of America's most notorious murder cases and most well known hauntings. So, from then, a small group accompanied him back to his house where the bodies of his two parents and four of his siblings were all found dead in their beds. All members of the family had been shot point blank by a rifle around 3 a.m. in the morning of that same day. So, if it was 3 a.m. and by this time it was 6 p.m., that would have been 15 hours. Like a 15-hour difference.
Okay.
The group called the police, who quickly searched the home for any evidence of a break-in or any evidence of a perpetrator. They basically came in saying like, okay, well, what happened? Because it is weird for 6 people to be found dead and one person to just kind of be like, you know, someone killed my family. It's like, what do you mean someone killed your family? So the 6 members of the family were Ronald Sr., who was 43 years old, Louise, who was 42 years old, and Ronnie's four siblings: Dawn, who was 18, Allison, who was 13, Mark, who was 12, and John Matthew, who was 9.
Mm-hmm.
Forensic analysis showed that both parents received 2 gunshots, while each child received one. Along with that, Louise and Allison showed evidence that they had actually been awake at the time of their murders. After the discovery of the bodies, Ronnie was taken into police custody for his own protection. This was after he had claimed to the police that his family had been murdered by a hitman hired by the mafia, specifically by a man named Louis Fellini.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like I mentioned, like the police started investigating because this is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird for him to be like, "Oh, my family was murdered, but I know who did it." Police brought in Fellini almost immediately for questioning, but with a strong alibi, they had to let him go. An interview with Ronnie later exposed several inconsistencies with his version of events, such as claiming where he had been at the time of the murders or why he hadn't been targeted by this alleged hitman.
Mm-hmm.
Because a hitman wouldn't have just left one person alive.
Right.
But I think he had also claimed that he was at work when it happened at 3 a.m., I guess. So after the police were like, something's off, things are inconsistent, he then confessed to actually killing the family himself, saying, "Once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast." He later admitted that after the murders, he took a bath and redressed, and then disposed of evidence before going in to work that day. Rumors circulated around the town that the father, Ronald DeFeo, was supposedly abusive towards the family, something that made people believe pushed Ronnie to commit the murders, but this was never corroborated. None of the neighbors claimed to have heard the sound of the rifle gunshots go off in the night of the murders, and none of the victims were found with any signs of struggle, as if they weren't even like awoken by the gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I did mention, like it was a rifle. So, I mean, I think any firearm isn't silent. So it's like if one goes off, like it seemed weird that nobody else had heard it.
Yeah, in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, that was actually my next sentence. This was really strange because the rifle that Ronnie used is not silent. His defense attorney, William Weber, attempted to defend Ronnie with a plea of insanity, saying that he acted in self defense due to voices in his head telling him to kill his family or he would be killed instead. Ronnie also claimed that the rifle used in the murders was given to him by a woman wrapped in shadow and covered in black fungus in the basement. This was actually something that he kept claiming that something else gave him the weapon, or something else kind of like whispered and told him to do this murder or to commit this murder. The plea of insanity did not work, though, and as the prosecution's psychiatrist claimed that Ronnie was fully aware of his actions, regardless of his past hard drug use and an antisocial personality disorder that may have affected his judgment. Basically, the psychologist concluded that he hadn't been hearing voices, just that he believed killing his family was not wrong. So it's like they analyzed him and said like he literally had his idea that what he was doing was okay. He was found guilty of 6 counts of murder in the second degree on the 14th of October 1975. On the 4th of December 1975, he was sentenced to 6 sentences of 25 years to life and held at the Sullivan Correction Facility in Fallsburg, New York, until the time of his death at the age of 69 on the 12th of March 2021. However, the question of why he committed the murders was still unanswered. And the following is kind of alleged to support his idea that maybe something was going on in this house.
Mm-hmm.
So, one theory states that he suffered abuse from his father that pushed him to the edge, like I mentioned. Another theory says that Fellini took advantage of Ronnie's mental impairment to murder the family due to debts that Ronald Sr. had owed the mafia. So this it's kind of like corroborating both versions where it's like, yeah, he did it, but it wasn't something paranormal, it was like some guy. However, none of these theories were ever corroborated. Now, as for the paranormal side of things, that's kind of what the following is.
Okay.
So the house remained vacant for 13 months after the murder. I mean, obviously, like, the locals kind of knew, like, this house, like, something happened, like, they knew what happened in the house and they didn't want anything, like, associated with it. Nobody really wanted to move, so they had trouble, like, finding tenants, basically. In December 1975, the Lutz family bought the house for $80,000, which was considered a bargain at the time. It's actually considered a bargain still. So,
Yeah.
uh, according to the Lutz, the Dutch-style house with its distinct two small windows drew them to the home. And I think this house does have like a very distinct appearance. Like,
Yeah.
as for when it comes to like haunted houses, you look at this house and you know, like, oh, that's Amityville.
It when you're looking at the house, it looks like it has a face.
Yes. Yep. So many people say that these two windows resemble eyes on a demonic face. Oh, were you reading my notes?
I'm not.
So the Lutz family, George and Kathy Lutz, had recently married and wanted to start their lives together in a new home. Kathy had three children from her previous marriage: Daniel, 9 years old; Christopher, 7 years old; and Melissa, called Missy, who was 5 years old. The real estate broker mentioned the murders of the DeFeo to the Lutz, explaining that that was the reason for the affordable price, since many locals were not interested in purchasing the house for its history. And George and Kathy discussed the matter but decided that it would not be a problem. I mean, I kind of get it, and from what I've understood, the family was not doing too well financially, so at
Yeah.
this point, it's like they just got married, they wanted to start their life together, they wanted to like move in together and like I guess start being a family.
Yeah.
The family moved in on the 17th of December 1975. Much of the DeFeo's furniture was still in the house when the Lutz moved in, having been included as part of the sale. This part was weird.
Okay.
I don't know how I would feel about like I mean it is hard enough as it is like to sell a house
Mm-hmm.
where like a murder happened, but to move in and keep that family's furniture, something's off about that.
Well, I mean, it's a little, it's no different than buying like a fully furnished apartment, isn't it?
That'd be weird too. I think when it
People
comes
do
to
it a
like
lot.
stuff that you leave in an apartment or in like a
Yeah.
house, I think a fridge and a stove is like normal. Maybe a microwave.
Yeah.
Almost immediately, according to the family, unexplained phenomena was already happening like the day of like move-in day. While the family moved their belongings inside the house, they tied their dog Harry in the backyard. Harry seemed uneasy while they were tying him up, and after some time, the family went to check on the dog and noticed that he had jumped the fence of the property, but due to the chain not being long enough, he hung from the fence until someone was able to help him in
Oh
time.
my gosh, that is
They didn't know what could have
terrible.
caused the dog to act like that, but assumed it had something to do with the house's history.
Yeah, the house scared him so bad he ran.
The family were distraught after this and called a local church for someone to bless the house that same day. Father Ralph J. Pecoraro came to the house later that afternoon, and while he made his way through the house, he heard a deep masculine voice say, "Get out," as he walked into a bedroom on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
The room that formerly belonged to Mark and John Matthew DeFeo. According to Father Pecoraro, he didn't tell George and Kathy what he heard in the house, but he quickly left thereafter. According to Father Pecoraro, he allegedly developed blisters on his hands that appeared like stigmata, which is also known as like the phenomena of the appearance of wounds in locations that correspond to the wounds of Jesus during his crucifixion.
That's a good movie too.
That movie traumatized me as a child, and I
Mm.
don't know why. I should not have been watching that.
You probably should not have been watching that as a child. There's a lot of movies that we watched
hmm
as children of immigrants that we probably should not have been watching as a child.
Like, why was I watching that? You know,
I remember I watched The Exorcist with my parents and I was like 7.
we've talked about this. Like, my experience with The
Why?
Exorcist, like, we were not allowed to watch it, but I remember I did peek into the living room, and I was like, oh no. But even like for the month of October, to those that don't know, we share on our Instagram story like a horror or a thriller movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, a lot of people have been responsive, saying like, "I had no reason to be watching this as a child." Like,
That
yeah.
has been the consensus a little bit.
So the blessing of the house, however, didn't seem to have an effect. The room where the father heard the voice was always infested with flies, even during the winter. I mean, they moved in December, so it was strange that this happened. Like, there were so many flies then.
The flies were around for a while.
Yeah. And it reminds me of when we talked about the demon house in Gary, Indiana,
Yeah.
where there was like flies all the time. Like regardless of how many times that they killed them, they always came back like just huge, like masses of
Right,
flies.
it's the infestation part of the of when a demon is possessing somebody.
Yeah. No matter how many times the Lutz would exterminate the flies, they would always reappear the next day. The family would hear disembodied voices around the house at this time. Like Christopher, the youngest son, claims that he saw a dark shadow in the shape of a child walking in the hall once. When he called out to it, the shadow stopped in its tracks, remained motionless for a moment, then disappeared. That would that would make me uncomfortable, honestly. Missy, the daughter, claimed that a large pig with glowing red eyes would appear to her at night and talk to her. When they asked her what the pig told her, she said, "He says that he's glad I'm here, that I'll always be here from now on." Which, if you're not aware that it's a talking pig with red eyes, it maybe sounds like something a kid would make up, but why would a kid make up like a pig with red eyes? Which is something like demonic. Like, that's something we've talked about before in the past, where it's like usually like some people have like dreams or like something appears to them where it's like an animal with red eyes. It's usually like a demon taking the form of something, or like a dark energy taking the form of an animal.
Yeah. I remember when I heard the very first time I heard that part in like a clip. I remember I was watching TLC or ABC Family when they used to do like the haunted like Halloween or whatever specials, and they were doing an interview, and I remember the moment the person said she was talking to a pig with red eyes on the, and they showed like a picture of a rocking chair where like supposedly it was sitting, and I felt the heat go up into my face, and I was like, I'm definitely not gonna sleep tonight.
Yeah.
I was such a miedoso when I was back in that. What was I doing watching scary stuff if I was so scared all the time?
And now look at us.
And now look at us. I still can't sleep in the dark. I have a nightlight.
After moving in, Kathy claimed that George's personality drastically changed. He went from being very career driven and family oriented to being withdrawn and easily irritable. George would wake up at exactly 3:15 a.m. and wasn't able to go back to sleep. The strange thing about this is that 3:15 a.m. was the time that the DeFeo murders had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy went through periods where she would age unnaturally fast. George and Kathy's mom both claimed that she looked very old and would resemble a different person entirely. The family claims to have found cloven footprints and freshly fallen snow outside of their front door once.
Hell no. Hell no.
George also found a small room in the basement not included in the building's floor plan. The room was painted red and was only big enough to allow two grown adults to enter at a time. When George attempted to take Harry the dog down to the room, George said he just wouldn't go in. He backed away. It's the only time that I can recall him ever cowering from something.
Why would he try to take that poor dog down
I
into
don't
that
know.
room
Maybe he
anyways?
wanted to be his room,
He's
but
like,
that's
you know
weird.
what? Let me take my dog down into this
Yeah.
mysterious room that's not supposed to exist. Jesus.
Yeah, so that was like all the some of the paranormal stuff that the family was experiencing because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot more like just unexplained noises like I mentioned. On the 14th of January 1976, less than a month after moving in, the Lutz family flees the house in the middle of the night, unable to handle the paranormal activity of the house. According to the family, they attempted to bless the house themselves that night, but not many details of what happened are known. When prompted to give a full account of the events that night, the family declines, claiming that it is too frightening. The Lutz family never returned to the house after they left. They hired a moving company to move their possessions instead. In total, the Lutz family only lasted 28 days in the house, which to me sounds kind of weird. And I guess I'll probably like mention, yeah, I'll mention it at the end. But it's just weird how like they weren't able to give details about like what happened that night.
Yeah.
That's weird. So, famous paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren also expressed their interest in the family's story and offered to investigate the property. The Lutz family eventually agreed to allow Ed and Lorraine into the home. And on the 6th of March 1976, the day of the investigation, the only people allowed inside the house were Ed, Lorraine, and a small TV news crew from Channel 5 New York, and reporter Michael Linder. The crew set up cameras around the house and then set them off to go off every 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They left the cameras alone and began filming around the house and trying to communicate with any entities that would be there with them. And I don't think I've seen it, but it's kind of like the standard version of like following Ed and Lorraine and seeing like if they can pick up anything paranormal.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was just like the camera crew like following her around and her just like touching objects and touching parts of the house, seeing if she can sense something or seeing if like she sees something. I do want to mention a caution because we mentioned a caution like in the Spanish version, and I thought it's only fair like we'll give a caution in this time too. So this photo traumatized me when I first saw it, and it still makes me uneasy when I see it now. After the investigation, they reviewed the photos, and the camera set in the upstairs hallway caught what appears to be a small boy with white eyes peering at the camera from one of the upstairs bedrooms.
I remember seeing that picture and it scares the shit out of me.
I think this was like the first time that I felt like a paranormal like investigation was like real. Where I was like, because other ones I've always tried to like, and it's just like my personality. Where I always try to rationalize it, saying like, oh no, it could have been this. It could have been like this. Looked like a child. And I want to reiterate, there were no children in the house at the time of the investigation, and it does not look like any of the Lutz children. It's been said that it looks exactly like John Matthew DeFeo, who was 9 years old at the time of his death in the house.
Jeez.
This photo has been analyzed countless times and has been confirmed to be 100% authentic. When the photo was presented to Missy Lutz, she replied, "Oh, yes, that's my friend that I used to play with."
Oh god.
The child would not have known what he looked like. Like, it wasn't like the family looked up photos of the family that was murdered and be like, "Oh, look, these are the people that used to live here." It's possible, but I think as a child, like, she has no reason to lie about something like that. Like, children usually they are the ones to tell the truth more often. So for her to be like, "Oh yeah, that's my friend." During this investigation in 1976, Ed claimed this was no ordinary haunted house. On a scale of 1 to 10, this was a 10. William Weber, Ronnie DeFeo's former attorney, approached the family and offered them a deal for a book and movie adaptation of their story. The Lutz were initially not interested in profiting off of their misfortune, but later agreed to it to offset the financial burden of purchasing the home. So it's like they kind of did it because the house was expensive
Mm-hmm.
and they had to make up for it. So I
Right.
guess that makes sense.
I guess.
The book went to be written by Jay Anson, and it was published on the 13th of September 1977. It was meant to be a retelling of what the Lutz family experienced during their time in the house. However, the Lutz were not directly involved with the writing process.
That's a little weird.
Because of this, Jay Anson took many creative liberties with the book, often dramatizing events or even making them up entirely. An example of this is the character Jody DeFeo, an alleged entity that used to play with Missy. Jody, however, never existed. She was made up for the book and the movie. So, I guess that kind of gives it away. But the book was later adapted into a movie in 1979 and was considered a commercial success. This movie spawned 21 sequels and readaptations. Because of the success of the movie, the house became a landmark in Amityville. People would show up to the house and take photos outside. There were numerous cases of people going to the house and trying to take pieces of it. The Lutz became somewhat celebrities, but after some time, the fame became too much for them and they moved to California. They intentionally kept themselves out of the public eye after that. Kathy passed away on 17th of August 2004, and George passed away on the 8th of May 2006.
Mm-hmm.
In 2005, Christopher, Kathy's son, claimed that George was obsessed with the occult during the time that they lived in the house and claimed it was George that caused and allowed the paranormal incidents to occur. The house still exists today with the address being changed in order to discourage unwanted visitors and the two distinct windows in the front of the house being removed.
Wow.
So, and I kind of want to go back to like the the former attorney William Weber approaching the family with the idea of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense for the family to like accept it after a while. I'd be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, buying a house and then moving out 28 days later, it is expensive. Maybe we should like look into this. Um, but it also seems weird how it's like, what was the truth then? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously the family left for a reason. 28 days in, you don't buy a house and then leave 28 days in unless it's like something really bad. Um, but it's just weird how it's like so much of the book and the movie was fabricated, and that's the reason why so many people know this case is because
Yeah.
of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like to hear that the movies is mostly fabricated, then it's like then what was real, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean there are several documentaries about this, so I'm sure you can find some documentary that gives like the most accurate information, but I think because of the success of the movie and the book, there's not going to be 100% factual recounting of this.
Right.
Like it's always going to be tainted with this book, I guess.
Tainted.
Influenced.
Yeah, I
I
would
always
say
give
more
the wrong
influenced.
I always give the wrong
The
word. I'm
wrong
like,
descriptor word.
yeah. Like the last episode and I was like, "Yeah, we heard your criticisms." And you're like, "Feedback." I'm like, "Oh." Yeah.
Criticones. That's what you were thinking about.
But yeah, that's it. That's my case. That's the Amityville horror.
Thank you. Just in time for spooky month.
Yeah. I do want to mention, I think I forgot. I'm just remembering stuff about this and like I do remember that George was like weird into occult stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He started like sleeping in the basement, I think, which is where like
All the weird stuff was going down.
yeah, and it was also where Ronnie DeFeo used to stay, which is again, it might also be influence of the movie and the book, but like allegedly he started acting and giving like mannerisms that Ronnie would also do. Um, so
Weird.
people started thinking like, oh, okay, well maybe he's like he was possessed by whatever was possessing Ronnie before.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know. I would love to know what exactly was too frightening for them to retell. Like, what did they experience on the last day? You know?
Yeah. I always think too, like sometimes like maybe something so incredibly crazy happened to them that they feel like they can't talk about it because people are gonna think they're crazy.
That's true. I didn't consider
Like a
that.
portal opened up and it's like maybe it actually did happen and they just don't want to. They're like people are definitely not gonna believe this, so we're not
They're
gonna talk about it.
yeah, like they're gonna be like, what's the point of me telling you if you're not gonna believe me?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That was really good. I had forgotten a lot of the details of the case, especially
Yeah,
because we had covered it in Spanish such a long time ago.
yeah.
That was like a couple years ago.
Honestly, I don't remember when, but it felt like we were probably still living in Oklahoma at the time.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for that.
Because I have a quote from George in 1979. He told the Washington Post, "Our critics are people who've never been in the house, just people who read a book. No one who was ever in the house, who investigated, ever called it a hoax. No one with any credentials who was personally ever involved called it a hoax."
I'm sure that he's referring to like the energy of the house. That if you were in the house and you were there experiencing it, you wouldn't just think it was the book.
Yeah. It just seems weird how like there were so many like little coincidences, like the waking up at 3:15,
Mm-hmm.
like that I don't think was any way to like make up or like
Yeah, or Ryan Reynolds shirtless in the rain.
that was definitely made up.
Just kidding.
Sorry, I was just reading through stuff as well, and it looks like the two brothers, Kathy's two sons,
Mm-hmm.
they claimed that they experienced a levitation experience in their bedrooms when at one point they both woke up and the beds were like levitating off the ground. Um, And that too, I feel like it would be hard to think up of a hoax with children involved. Like I said, children are ones to like always tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you do ask them to like fabricate something, they're gonna be like to news reporters like, "Oh, my mom said to say this." So I don't know. I like to think that not like alike, I guess. I believe that there is some truth to the paranormal stuff,
Yeah,
but I'm sure there is some Hollywood involvement to kind of stretch the truth.
there always is.
But yeah, that was the Amityville horror.
Well, thank you. That was really good. Are we ready for the podcast pets?
Yes.
Podcast pets, podcast pets. So, our prima Jess sent us a cute little white dog with brownish ears named Oliver. He's a Shih Tzu, and he's super playful and hyper 100% of the time. I do not think I could handle that, but he was very handsome. Thank you, Jess, for sending us your little baby.
Mm.
Priscilla sent us her cute little gray cat named Choco. She never used to be a cat fan, but in the last year, she's found out that she loves her little baby.
Yeah.
Um, 602C 6012. I wouldn't know what it is. Sent us her little void princess Mia Thermopolis, like from the Princess Diaries, and she's very cute. She's a little black cat. Our prima Bianca sent us her kitties, and they're gorgeous. It's Benny, a black cat named Beneford for long, and a Siamese cat named Cecilia, or Cece for short, and Sicilian Pizza for long, for extra long.
For
That
extra
was really
long.
cute.
That's funny.
Moon sent us her two dwarf goats, Nano and his girlfriend Nanya. So that was cute.
Oh,
And she sent
goats.
us, yes, they're very cute. She sent us on the Instagram, and then when I was checking the email, she had sent us an email as well. But she had told me on the Instagram, I emailed you as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Adriana sent us her beautiful little weenie dogs, Penny and Rex, along with a monkey named Liam. Although the little monkey looks very human, I believe he is a child and not a monkey.
No.
Um, and their gargoyle gecko Mushu. So he was
Oh,
very cute.
that's cute.
Tell Liam that we say sorry that we called him a little monkey boy, but you sent him to us that way. So, anyways, what do you got for the palate cleanser?
For the long names and the short names, I get it. Like we kind of have that for our cats too. Like
Yeah.
Leo's right here, but we call him Leo, but his legal name is Leopoldo. I guess that's like an old man name, by the way. Like,
Yeah. And
and
then
then,
here's my daughter, Venus, over here.
but what do you call her
Benushka.
for long version?
Yeah. She's actually Benushka Rene when I'm mad at her. She's hyphenated.
Cute. So there's a lot. There's a lot of palette cleansers that I have. I'm sure you have few of them,
Yes, I wrote down some before.
but there's a few that I want to cover if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, they're yours.
Okay, so the first one I want to start with Bobby Pulido
Mm-hmm.
is running for Congress in Texas.
I saw that.
So if you live within his district, I'm sure you've seen ads. I'm sure you've seen him on TV. I'm sure you've seen him around town. You better vote for that man. If we were in Texas, we might.
Is he the one that sings that one song?
Desvelado.
Yeah.
Yup.
How did you know that was
Yup.
that one song that I
That
was
was that
talking
one
about?
song.
The Hatsune Miku version is my favorite.
That one's good. That is actually my mom's ringtone. So I think it would make my mom very happy to know that you guys voted for.
Well, I don't know his politic. I don't know his political stance, so I'm not
I
gonna
do.
say anything.
I do. And I
Is
say
he
you should
for
vote.
is he for our people?
Yes.
Okay.
He said with everything happening, um, he kind of wanted to throw his hat in the ring and be like, you know what? We don't need more politicians. We need like people.
Yeah.
We need people that actually talk to the people that we're representing in Congress. So I say go for it and
Yep.
vote for him if you want, or vote for him if you can. or not. Like, this isn't a political endorsement. I have a few other ones, but
Can I talk about one?
what?
Bowling as a first date to see if he gives you the ick when he throws the ball.
That was my next one, actually.
I was
So
like,
I
I
don't know
really want to talk
why
about
I
this
was
one.
thinking about that, but I was like, ladies or
You,
fellas,
you know how
honestly.
men are always talking about take her to the pool for the first date so you can see what she really looks
Oh
like.
yeah.
That. You know what? Take him bowling so you can see him do his little jump when he rolls the ball.
Exactly. Anyone, I mean, even take your girlfriend out for bowling for the first date. Take anyone out for the first date for bowling to see if they give you the ick every time they like throw the ball. Uh,
You knocked on the wall. I saw a TikTok video actually of somebody that was like, I was wondering why my ankle was hurting the next day after I went bowling, and somebody had taken a video behind them of them like rolling the ball, and they kept like putting their ankle down and like rolling their foot under them. I'm like, what?
that's good.
Yeah, they
That's
were like
good.
flattening their leg out behind him, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely gonna make your ankle hurt. They were like, I couldn't walk for 2 days, and I'm like, I'm not surprised. That was crazy. And then I saw another TikTok video where the guy, is that where you got it from? TikTok? Is that where this
Probably.
came from? And then another guy was doing like a little brinquito. He was like, ooh.
Actually, that's probably what it was.
Oh,
And I think
that gave you such a visceral reaction that you had to talk about it.
yeah. I was like, dude, imagine being on a first date and they do that.
They do some shit, some type shit.
Or not. I don't know, es tu vida, no sé.
Yeah.
The next one is not really like a palate cleanser topic, but it is something that we were corrected. We were actually corrected a few times about our uh, Luxor hotel episode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Audi corrected us that the pyramids in Egypt are not the biggest. That would be the pyramid in Mexico, Cholula being the first, second being in Guatemala, and third being in Egypt. So thank you for that correction.
Thanks for coming in with them facts.
I think it was
You're so
the
smart.
source that I was using that did say that like the pyramids in Egypt are like the biggest pyramids, but I don't think it was counting like pyramids in Mexico and Guatemala, like because I don't think some people consider them pyramids.
Yeah.
Um,
And that, kids, just lets us know that we need to be careful with what sources we use.
exactly.
So,
Sometimes you can't believe anything.
yeah.
You can't even believe me.
Also, I wanted to make a correction because I think I said in the past episode, or like in the episode for the lecture, that there wasn't things to do in Las Vegas for families. I meant the strip,
Yeah,
not the whole of Las Vegas, because I'm
yeah.
sure that there's a lot of things to do in Las Vegas. But the strip part of it, what I've
Hmm.
heard is just a lot of casinos, adult entertainment, and things like that, which is probably not for family.
I mean, you can't
Anybody
bring
can
a
correct me, and I will then correct myself in the next episode.
like. I'm sure you can't bring a child to like a lot of parts in the strip, and like that makes sense. Like they can't
Yeah.
go into the casino. But I mean, there were a lot of people that reached out to us and said like, "Hey, Vegas is actually very friendly or very family friendly," and it's like we believe you, but I think we should have clarified that it was the strip that really sometimes
Yeah.
isn't.
I guess because like me never having been there,
Hmm.
I'm like Vegas, the strip.
Yep.
It's only the strip. There's nothing. It's just the strip in the middle of a desert and airport next to it. That's
Hmm.
it. There's nobody lives there. It's just the strip. But it's like no, it's a city.
Yeah.
It's a city. So
So quick correction on that, but I mean. Vegas does look pretty fun, and I think after that I did look into it. It's like, what exactly are there like family friendly things to do? I mean, there's like aquariums, museums, there's a lot of events like related to like laser tag, huge movie theaters. So I
yeah,
think there is stuff to do that's family oriented, but I don't think, at the casinos,
yeah.
no.
The spa. You could go to a spa. Also, where's Amy's Baking Company? Is that in Arizona?
I think so.
Oh, I was thinking I would want to go to Vegas just to get yelled at there, but
It doesn't
first of all,
exist anymore.
it's closed
Yeah.
now. They don't even live in the United States anymore, and it's in Arizona. So, but I've been thinking a lot about The
Amy's
Hell's
Baking
Kitchen
Company.
the Hell's
Yeah.
Kitchen episode of Amy's Bakery. I've been thinking about it a lot.
Real fans of this show are gonna know what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Meow 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 meow.
Nah, I'm just kidding. We actually told my sister and Mauricio about that
Yeah.
because they had never heard about that either.
We watched that whole episode at their house.
We were playing a card game and we're like, well, you gotta stop what you're doing and pay attention.
Yeah. It's because I think we said it's Christmas, let's go home.
Oh
And they were like,
yeah.
what is that? And we were like, how do you not know what that is?
Yep.
Or the 21? What's 9 plus 10?
Yep.
21? Can I
Okay.
ask you about one,
No,
please?
no,
I really
no,
want to
because
know
there's
about
one
this
that
one.
I think one and we can like call it a night.
Well, why not two? And then we can call it a night.
Fine, go
Well,
ahead.
it might be the one that I'm thinking about. What were you gonna do?
Okay, so I love chismoso Uber drivers.
That was the one I
That
was
was
gonna
the-
bring.
Okay,
Okay, so what are we talking about here? Like, what
Okay,
happened?
so-
What was the thought process to get here?
my battery's dying on my microphone, so this has to be quick.
Okay, let's go.
But I love chismoso Uber drivers. Like every time we're in an Uber, I always try to talk to the Uber driver.
Yeah,
One, because I feel like they probably get bored. It's just them in the car. Like, I want them, and also too, like I don't want them to feel like uncomfortable. Like I know that they see like dozens of people throughout the day, so it's like I don't want them to feel like I'm a danger or anything. Especially like the way I look. Um, I look peligroso. I don't know. Like
you look like a
I like
maleandro.
threatening.
A maleandro.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. But, I do want them to feel comfortable as well. So it's like I say, "Hey," I'm like, how are you doing?" I look around. I always pay attention to what music they're playing cuz sometimes people do ask like, "Oh, what do you want to listen to?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just whatever. What do you listen to?" Um but I love when they're nosy because I'm nosy too. So they sometimes be talking about like, "Oh, where you guys going?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. We're just going
Oh, you
out
guys are
here.
gonna
What's
go
up?"
eat? Wow, what are you gonna eat?
Yes, like I
What
love
are you
when
gonna
they
eat? Did you
I
look at
love
the
when
menu
like when
already?
they ask like probing questions like that or
Yeah.
when I'm like especially if we're not in a city, like if we're not home, if we're like in a new city, I'll always be like, "Oh, well what's a good restaurant? We're going to this one, but like what do you like? Like is that a good
Yeah.
thing? Is that is that good?" 'Cause they always try to throw in like their preference and be like, "Oh, if you like that, you'll like this place too." And it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we'll check it out next time. That'd be cool." But I love when they get chismoso. Like I think I remember one time I think Mirta and Christian were visiting, so we kind of walked a lot. We were at the Shed Aquarium, but we actually parked near like Magnificent Mile,
Mhm.
and so we had to walk back. But the shoes I wore were so uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm getting an Uber. I don't care. So we got an Uber. We drove back, but the guy that drove us, he was from Burkina Faso, and he was listening to music that was like very loud, but at the same time he was on a phone call with someone, like in a Bluetooth headset, but he was talking like speaking very loudly too, and the whole time like he was speaking French, and I was trying to catch along like what he was saying. He didn't say anything bad about us, but like he was also using a lot of words that I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah.
Like they were probably like regional, but like regional words. But I was so invested in this man. It's like, what's happening? Why is he laughing? Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to know.
I do remember that. You were very chismoso at that moment.
Yeah.
You wanted to know what he was talking about. I feel like that's why you've learned so many languages. You want to know what people are talking about because you're just nosy.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that should be a huge motivator to learn a new language. I mean, we've said it before. It's like, think of the chisme that you're missing out on.
Oh, dude, I know.
Just to people that don't speak Spanish, think of the chisme you're missing out on with your
Yeah.
Hispanic friends.
If you learn one word, learn the word chisme.
Yep.
And chismoso or chismosa, female.
Yeah.
Or chismose, gender neutral.
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
Um.
Well, your microphone's dying, so maybe we should stop there.
One last thing. There is a new series on Netflix. This was suggested by Nadia and another person that just had like a brown heart as their name on Instagram. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know your name
Hi,
and I
Brown Heart.
apologize. But thank you, Nadia and Brown Heart, for suggesting a new Netflix series about Las Poquianchis.
Yeah,
We haven't watched it yet, but we will
we're
after
going
this.
to. We're definitely going. Not right now,
Not right now.
because it's. Uh,
Late.
I have to go to work and class tomorrow, and it's very late already.
But thank you for the suggestion.
Yes, we're definitely gonna watch it
We're gonna
this
check it
weekend.
out, and you guys should check it out too. Comment down below what other stuff we should watch.
Look at the link here. No, I'm just kidding. We don't know how to do that.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Look at the link here.
And look at this one. And look at this.
Yeah,
And look at this.
I
I'm
don't think we're gonna. I don't know how to do that, so we're just gonna be pointing at random things. Well, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube by Qué Spooky Podcast. Also, email us any story suggestions or your own scary stories at getspookypodcast@gmail.com. Special thanks to Taylor Turner for the artwork, Kyle Fields for the intro music, and Leonardo for the logo redesign. Don't forget to tell someone you love how much they mean to you. And we want to thank everybody for reaching out to us about our merch shop. We
yeah.
were like, we need help with designers. We have had such an overwhelming amount of people message us. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye
So
bye.
don't forget to check that out.
Yes, check it out.
Bye.
Bye.